The south of Varrock is perhaps one of the most iconic places in all of RuneScape. What's so special about it? Well, it is one of the fastest ways to get from Lembridge to Varrock, where the Grand Exchange is. So, new players that want to go to Varrock would travel through this road. Unfortunately for them, next to this road there are Dark Wizards. These have been responsible for claiming the lives of many noobs that have perished to their spells. It is something that still happens to this day, and it's a rite of passage for new players. However, this place is also iconic for another reason. You see, Dark Wizards weren't just a popular spot where noobs got slain, it was also a popular spot to actually train early combat. Thanks to many of the rune drops, not only were they training combat, they were also actually really nice to make some GP on the side. Well, as I've done many times in this series before, today I want to test if killing Dark Wizards is still a good money maker. Obviously, we will be avenging the noobs by killing them south of Varrock. While it isn't exactly close to a bank, it shouldn't be an issue since I have the Chronicle, which teleports me really close to the place. On top of that, I also have the Crafting Cape to bank, because Crafting Guild has the fastest bank. In terms of gear, well, range would actually be the best, but, I'm really high level, so it doesn't really matter what I pick. So I'm just gonna take my somewhat cheap melee gear and honestly call it a day. I will also take a Ring of Wealth imbued, so it auto picks up all of the coins that I get as a drop, and if you take a peek into my inventory, I got the Bone Crusher, which will automatically bury all the bones that I get from the Dark Wizards for the Prayer XP. So for 1 hour, this is my home. And after 1 hour of bopping Dark Wizards, I managed to kill a resounding 587 of them. The loot is mostly runes and robes. When I price check this, it tells me that we got 77,875 GP. However, when I actually went to sell it and accounting for the G tax and everything, we actually were left with 71,327 GP. We also need to factor in the Chronicle teleports, which I used 5 and each cost 150 GP, so I actually spent 750 GP on it, so the total profit that we actually got from all of this was 70,577 GP. In case you are wondering how much GP we actually would have gotten if I bothered to bank all the bones, well, the bones price checked around 18,784 GP, already accounting for the G tax, give or take. I didn't, depends on the prices and everything, but that means that we would have ended up with around 89,361 coins. But, banking the bones means that we would have banked more, means that I would have spent more teleports, and I would have actually spent more money on teleports, so, the profit would be much lesser than that. Which, speaking of bones, what about the XP? Well, since, we were talking about the bones, we actually got a total of 2,642 Prayer XP. Not that much, but then again, burying bones doesn't really give that much XP. In terms of combat, however, I got 14,200 HP XP, which is kinda hard to say, and we got a total of 42,600 attack XP. Obviously it is worth noting that I'm pretty much max combat and that pretty much really good gear, even if for me this gear is mid game gear, but back in the day people training here, they definitely were not getting these XP rates, and they definitely were not getting this amount of GP either. All things considered, I'm actually surprised I made more than I thought. I thought I was gonna make maybe 30 to 40k. It's still very low, but this is probably the highest XP I've actually gained in any of these money makers. I have tried countless of them, and most of them are early game as well, and honestly, this beats them all in terms of XP gained by a wide margin. Unfortunately, the method really isn't AFK at all, but I guess if you really want to train like some early range, and especially if you are free to play, I would say that the runes and especially the rope tops definitely pay for your supplies. So, does killing Dark Wizards still hold up as a moneymaker? Well, besides the fact that it was never an amazing moneymaker, nowadays it's even worse since the runes have become incredibly cheap. Still, the fact that you can train there and get decent XP while also paying for your supplies, I would say is pretty good. So while I don't think it holds up, I was really surprised by how good it actually was at the end of the day. So with that being said, if you do have a method you used to do back in the day and you want me to try, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.